Hi, kindergartners. Today our learning target is I can compare the weights of different objects. So yesterday I went shopping and I got a pound of potatoes in my bag. I'm going to take out the potatoes and show you what a pound or how many it took me to get a pound of potatoes. So it only took me a pound of potatoes, or it only took me 3 potatoes to make 1 pound. We are going to use these potatoes to do some weighing work today with our pan balance scale, like we used yesterday. So we are going to compare objects around the room that weigh lighter, heavier, or maybe even the exact same as 1 pound of potatoes. So I want you to really kind of think what a pound of potatoes might feel like. Maybe you might have a pound of potatoes at home or some potatoes that you could even feel to see what a pound of potatoes might feel like, or even what a couple of potatoes might feel like. Okay, so we have our pound of potatoes and our yellow side of our pan balance. Now I have picked a couple objects and we are just going to determine whether these objects are lighter than a pound of potatoes or exactly a pound, exactly the same as a pound of potatoes, or if they are heavier than the pound of potatoes. All right, let's get started. So I know you guys all know what Play-Doh is, and I'm sure you guys have all felt it and felt how maybe light, heavy the Play-Doh might be. So I want you to take a minute and think, what is the Play-Doh going to be compared to the pound of potatoes? Is it going to be lighter? Is it going to be exactly the same? Or is it going to be heavier? All right. Now that you've determined what your guess is, I'm going to go ahead and put the Play-Doh in the red side of our pan balance scale. If you guessed that the Play-Doh was going to be lighter than the pound of potatoes, you are correct. So our Play-Doh is lighter than our pound of potatoes. Let's try another object. I know you guys have all seen a phone before. Your moms and dads, maybe brothers and sisters probably have them. I want you to think what a phone might be compared to a pound of potatoes. So I'm feeling mine. And I think I have my guess, but I want you guys to get your guess in your head. Is it going to be lighter, heavier? Maybe it's going to be exactly the same. All right, let's see what a phone would be compared to a pound of potatoes. If you guessed that a phone would be lighter than a pound of potatoes, you are correct. Let's try something else. Let's try Miss Jones's water bottle. So I have my hydro flask, which is I think 42 ounces, and it's full of ice and water. I want you to think about maybe a water bottle that you have that might be full and think if you think it's going to be heavier than a pound of potatoes, lighter than a pound of potatoes, or even exactly the same. I want you to take a guess, and as soon as you got your guess, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Uh-oh. All right. My water bottle is a little bit too big, but I can tell that my water bottle, full and probably unfull, is heavier than my pound of potatoes. Let's try one more thing. Let's try our foundations book. Do you think our foundations book is going to be heavier than a pound of potatoes? Exactly a pound as a pound of potatoes, or lighter than a pound of potatoes? All right, I hope you had your guess. Here we go. If you guessed that my book would be heavier than a pound of potatoes, you are correct. This book weighs more than a pound of potatoes. All right, now you guys will be able to decide on a couple things that you think are going to be heavier or lighter than our pound of potatoes that we have today. So you will do this on the next couple pages. I can't wait to see your drawings.